Okay, I've worked out a slight improvement to the cam lock tool, I think. This one only holds from one direction. It holds from the bottom. And so what I generally do, or have been doing, is rotate the cam to where, I mean, you can go either way. You can see my red mark here. That's got to be even with the hit, with the valve cover. And I could rotate it this way to get it there, but that doesn't work very well with my tool. So what I do is I put it on the underside, and I'm going to rotate it counterclockwise to get it to the position I need. So with this tool, what I can do is, again, line it up, not again, like the old tool, line it up directly across from my mark, which I don't know if it's visible in the camera or not. Yeah, maybe. So we're going to line the center tooth up directly across from the mark that I've made for the tooth that lines up with the cylinder head cover. So I'm going to put the little, I'm slipping this on the teeth just about halfway. It's just enough to grab so it won't fall off. It's pretty good fit. And I use my spanner here to get on the full prong thing. And now I'm going to roll it around. You can see I'm lifting it off down here in this bottom corner so it can clear the other pulley. And I'm going to rotate it in place until it clears the pulley. And then slip it in. So now the cam is trying to rotate from spring force. It's trying to rotate clockwise, and the little leg of this cam holder is holding it from going that way. So it's pretty close to in place where it needs to go. But what I found with my symmetrical tool was that it wasn't quite exact. And whether or not that's a variation on this engine or not, I don't know. But I found that this little modification helps out, and I'll show you how. So first thing I do is get the belt lined up with its proper mark down on the lace shaft. And that one's kind of tricky. It wants to jump off that lace shaft while you're doing that. Then I'm going to take and get this exhaust pulley lined up next. Roll it around to where it is lined up with my belt, and slip it in to where I've got my marks lined up. The right tooth is in the marked hole. And recheck my lace shaft, and it has moved. So you have to be careful with that as you do this. And then I'm going to pull my last pulley up. And you see that it wants to, because you've got all the slack in the belt as you're doing this, it wants to be in the notch behind it. So instead of having to wrestle that in there, this tool allows you to rotate just a little farther and we'll be able to get your belt where it needs to go without really having to completely let go of the cam. Makes it a lot easier to deal with, just being able to make that little turn and come back. And you can see now I'm lined up here. You can't see. I'm lined up at the bottom, but I'm lined up at the top and on both pulleys. And this little tool, being able to rotate that a little bit clockwise as you're doing this, made it a whole lot easier to get the belts in and get them where they go.